From downtown Scranton, this is Northeast Current. WQPX invites you to join us as we explore public affairs, current events, and arts and culture in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Now let's meet today's guests on Northeast Current.
Good morning and welcome into Northeast Current on the ION Network. My name is Holly Golombeski, and today we're on location at the Pittston Animal Hospital with a wonderful vet and humanitarian, Dr. Kathio. Hi, Doctor. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Holly. We got a nice rabbit here. And
yes,
thank
we
you
do.
for coming down. Yeah.
He's actually my rabbit.
Yeah.
And he actually was just here not too long ago because he was neutered.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that you really should get rabbits spayed and neutered too.
Of course, you know, just like any other animal, even in human beings, they can get into the problem, especially like dogs and cats and also rabbits, bunny. Mm-hmm. There's a bombardment of the hormones on their reproductive tracts, and what happens, the reproductive tracts, they get enlarged. When they get enlarged, and they become the media for the bacteria to get in. When the bacteria gets in, and they develop some condition called pyometritis, or pyometra, or endometritis or pyometra they get, you know, and also they are prone to have mammary gland tumors. They are totally dependent on the animal's bombardment of hormone onto the mammary gland, and if you spay them, the chances for getting the mammary gland neoplasia or mammary gland tumors are very, very less. Mm-hmm. Similarly, if you do not neuter them, their urine tend to be very smelly, mm-hmm. and they can get a testicular cancer, and they become aggressive. And so neutering has a great quality effect on animal. And as you can see, this beautiful bunny, that we have here was neutered with a laser. And you can see there is no threat for the anesthesia, and recovery was good.
Yes, it was.
Recovery was good, and there was no any suture material or any like a stitch applied to it, mm-hmm. because these guys, sometimes you put a suture on it, then gnaw onto them.
Well, you were even saying with Alfie, that's the bunny's name, Alfie. Yeah, Alfie. There was no blood, really.
No blood, no blood. There was absolutely. When we do the surgical procedure with the laser, what happens, the laser beam seals off the nerve endings, mm-hmm. it seals off the small blood vessels, mm-hmm. and it seals out lymphatics. Mm-hmm. And so what it means that no bleeding or maybe minimal bleeding, and like sealing of the nerve, that means less pain or no pain, and sealing up the lymphatics, that means no swelling, and mm-hmm. No infection as well.
And it was. I mean, he was great, and the next day he was back to himself.
Yeah.
You know, he was a little groggy at night from the anesthesia, but he was great. And my first bunny that I had, you actually spayed her. Her name was Nala, and she lived 13 years. 13
years. Good.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will live more than that.
Yeah.
Alfie will live more than that. And I also do all kind of animals. Like I used to work in a zoo.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
I used Popcorn Park Zoo in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. There's a big zoo in there. They had elephant, they had a lion,
wow.
and they had tigers and snakes and all kind of animals, monkeys.
Wow.
Yeah, and some people they wish to go and buy exotic animals, but they do not know much about that. So I would tell them that you learn about them. Right. Like for instance, the snake, if you don't keep him on the right temperature, and they get very sick. Mm. And what happens then, the bacteria start eating them rather than they digest the bacteria and all those mm-hmm. things. Most common problem with the low temperature and not a good hygiene in the cage where the snake live is mouth rot. And I see this a lot. And also the hamsters, they get a wet tail if they're not, they're not given a proper husbandry attention or something.
Right.
And usually when the time they show the signs, mm-hmm. it is too late to to take care of them. Similarly, I have traffic of monkeys in here, and these monkeys are very good pets, but they could be nasty as well, because depends from the very beginning how do you train them, because they can bite, and not only that, they can take a fecal material and throw it.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, they can be very mean.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, And we also had a kinkajou, and people had the kinkajou as a pet. And believe it or not, in this room, I also had a reindeer. The reindeer would develop a pneumonia, and because of stress probably, and we treated the reindeer and did very well. And I have treated the elephants and tigers, lions.
How do you do the tigers and lions? How do you get near them to do that?
Like if they are debilitated or they are very sick or something, we take them to something called a squeeze cage, and through that one we examine the animals. But if they are healthy and like they got cut foot or they got injury and they're healthy, we dart them with the anesthetics, and when they go to sleep we approach them and we'll take care of them. And we have a special thermometer. Even they are 50 feet away, we can to put the beam on their body and we can tell the temperature, what is their temperature. It's very exciting to work with the different animals. And we had 2 weeks ago or something, we had 2 parrots, and one of them was very sickly, was ready to die or something. But the good thing that we had it here. I'll give the disc of that, you can see. And the bird lost its almost 50% of the body weight.
Oh.
Yeah, and if small birds, they do not eat one time, it is equal to human being not eating for like 5 days.
Wow.
Yes, their metabolism is very fast. And even their temperature, bird's temperature could be 107 and 108, and which is very normal. And the rabbit's temperature we are looking here could be 101.5 to 104. That would be the normal for human being. For dogs and cats, 104 temperature is significantly higher temperature.
So was the reindeer, was that the most unusual animal that you've had in here?
The most unusual animal is a human being, believe it or not.
That bring their pets.
Yes. Yeah, we had kinkajou was very unusual. Kinkajou was very unusual, We had a squirrel, monkey, sugar gliders, and some lady brought down a cricket to me because we want me to eat a cricket, I said, I asked her, why do you have a cricket as a pet? Oh, she chirps at night and I go to sleep.
Oh,
well, everybody
never heard of that.
Yeah, everybody, and they have Madagascar hissing cockroaches as a pets. Yeah,
that's unusual.
That is unusual.
bit.
Yeah, that is unusual. So quite a few unusual pets. I could tell you, and the lizard, like the monitor lizard, savanna monitor, and geckos, and they also come through this office, and we take care of them. And the good thing is that people in this valley, they do take care of their pets, majority of them.
Yes.
And when they are sick, they know they are sick, and they can sense they are sick, and they bring it down. The earlier you bring it down, the better chances for the survival is. That's the secret. That's the secret, yeah.
And what is the life expectancy of a rabbit?
Well, as you said, you lived for 14 years.
Yeah.
So that was a good life expectancy.
That's a lot.
Yeah, usually when they come here, they are not taking care of them or something. In 8 years, they look horrible.
Aww.
Yeah, because some of these guys, their teeth are not not coming properly, and then they need to be filed down, not cut down, but filed down properly, and. Or sometime if they are too bad, malocclusion or something, then you have to get rid of their teeth.
Well, over your tenure of being a vet, you've been a vet how long?
I've been a vet before your mom was born. I'm a vet since 1978.
Wow.
1978.
Now, what changes do you think were the biggest changes ever since you started?
We had very good changes. First of all, with the iPhone, we can do the EKG using just
an iPhone.
With iPhone, you just put it on the animal, and we can record and we can see what are the changes in the heart. So that's a good change. And we look here, we got a CO2 laser. We have CO2 laser, and that's a good change. It makes a difference between slaughtering an animal or doing a surgery on an animal. when you make an incision with a blade, especially small guys like this, you know, they bleed a lot. But when you make an incision with a laser, there is no hemorrhage.
Right.
So whatever their blood is in their system, that is intact. So they are not losing the blood. And again, when the blood is out and it becomes messy, it becomes the media for the bacteria to get in. And then the secondary, the dog licks on them and puts a bacteria into the incision, and the animal's incision gets infected. The first thing they blame is the veterinarian. That, well, veterinarian used the dirty instrument or something. But actually, human beings as well as the dogs and cats, especially cats, have a bacteria, you know, that enters into the wound. It can form an abscess very quick, and that bacteria can travel into your lymph nodes, and under the armpit you have a big lymph node swollen, and that is also known as cat scratch fever.
I've never heard of that before.
Yes, yes. A cat doesn't have to scratch you as long as the bacteria is introduced into your body through a small cut or something. Your lymph node will get bigger, and you will have an abscess in the lymph node, and usually people at that time are hospitalized, and when they send the biopsy out to the lab, and there are special characteristic histopathological changes with the culture as well, and the pathologist will send you a report that big lump under the arm was not a cancer, but it was a cat scratch fever. It might have happened a couple of months ago, but it might travel slow, and you would not know for several months.
We're joined by Lauren, who is Dr. Kathio's assistant, and you could just talk into this microphone. How long have you been doing this for?
11 years.
11 years. Did you always want to be an assistant, a vet assistant?
Yes.
Yeah? What's one of the best things about your job?
The animals, like when they're sick, getting them better, just seeing them.
Because they can't tell you what's wrong. Yeah, but finding out. Is it hard to put an animal down? Like, do you really have, I mean, obviously it is, but does it really, really affect you?
It does deep down, but if they're sick and they're suffering, it's just better for them. You don't want them to suffer. You can just see the pain in their eyes.
Right. Thanks, Lauren. Dr. Kathio, we're going to be right back. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Dr. Kathio's humanitarianism. He is a wonderful human being that does a lot, not only for animals, but for people as well. We'll be talking about that as soon as we come back. You're watching Northeast Current on the ION Network. My name is Holly Golembeski. Stay tuned. Welcome back into Northeast Current on the ION Network. My name is Holly Golembeski. We're on location at the Pittston Animal Hospital in Pittston with Dr. Kathio, and we were talking a little bit about the technology, about, you know, animals being sick, about having to find things early to help them, and we have two examples up here of x-rays. So do you want to explain to us what's actually going on here?
Yeah, see, we had animal come into us. They apparently look normal, but on the routine examination, we pick it up that the heart sounds were quite different. And then we ask the history about animals. Does the animal get exhausted or showing any sign of lethargy or a cough or something like that? When they give a positive answer to that, we definitely know that we are dealing with some heart conditions. I can show you. These are the two animals about the same weight, and you can see the size of the heart, normal size of heart here, and you can see the enlarged heart. And these animals still, they are unsymptomatic, but again, if they are picked up on the examination early and you treat them, and their longevity, and they can live longer. But when at this time the attention has not been provided to the animal, and when they show the advanced signs of the congestive heart failure or the cardiac failure or a cardiac myopathy, it has several different names, depends what part of the heart is affected, whether it's a valve is affected, whether the muscles of the heart are affected, whether there's a conduction problem from the AV node, and all those things. Depends where the problem is. We target that problem and direct the medicine to correct the problem, and normally they can live a normal life. But again, these two things, these thing was not visible to the person. We picked this thing up on the routine examination.
Wow, there's no symptoms at all.
There were two people, there were no symptoms. They think when the when I asked them a lethargy and cough or something, they thought that was like something allergies or something like occasional or something, but actually what happens that when the heart gets enlarged, it pushes on it pushes on the like lungs, and when they are stimulated or something, the bronchial are stimulated, they produce cough. And in some cases the heart could be a normal size looking, but their valves could not be working properly, or maybe the one side of the heart is enlarged, like left side of the heart is enlarged, then it will produce too much fluids, and these animals will require something like Lasix or water pill or something to keep that fluid draining. And other sometime the right side of the heart is affected, that also affects the liver, and in these animals the liver enzymes are also very high. And it's not only that heartworm, they get into the heart and cause a problem in the dogs and cats, but there are dietary problems, genetic problems, aging problems, and all those things can cause the heart to fail or to affect the heart. But good thing is we have a technology to pick them in the settled stage, and we can correct them. So this dog that we saw here is going to live.
That's a good thing.
Will live because we were able to detect this problem
Right.
in the early age.
Well, you've dedicated your life to animals and also to human beings. You're a humanitarian philanthropist. You've done so much for so many creatures, you know, human and otherwise. And you're also a consulate for Pakistan in Philadelphia.
Yes,
Do you want to
yeah.
tell us about that?
Like this is a position, honorary consul, and it has been appointed by the President of Pakistan and the President of and the Prime Minister of Pakistan. And once it gets approved, the position from there, then it goes to the State Department, and the Secretary of the State will approve that, and then I start my official work. My official work at this time includes a U.S.-Pakistan trade and U.S.-Pakistan relationships, and people-to-people contact and contact with businesses in Pennsylvania with America, the politics of America and Pakistan, and also we have some like somebody needs emergency visa or something like that one, so I can go there and take care of that one, or somebody's lost their documents from Pakistan or something, I can facilitate the thing. It's a very rewarding and it's a very satisfying position. It's a very prestigious position. I am honorary. That means that I do not get the money from the government of Pakistan or the money from the government of the United States. But that is, you know, like my contribution for being in America, because America has given me so much. It's time for me to do something for America, as well as Pakistan has given me the degree, and Pakistan has put too much money into it. So it's time for us to give back to those countries. You know, if all of us, you know, we think that this country has given us so much, we contribute, you know, give back to the country, you know, the world would be much better. Like for instance, I have this hospital here, and I have a hospital in Wilkes-Barre. In the Wilkes-Barre, I have low-cost spay and neuter clinics, because you see that cat can produce so many kittens, and their kittens and their kittens,
Right.
and they are like get sick, they don't have a food, they are suffering, and they got all kind of a problem or something. And not only that, but they get a deadly infection called pyometra, and they get upper respiratory disease, they get leukemia, they transmit to each other AIDS and all those things and something. So if you have your animal spayed with the low cost, if you cannot afford it, and taken down to my hospital in Wilkes-Barre that is located on North Pennsylvania Avenue in the Butler, it's right in the center or something. And this is my contribution for Pennsylvania, for the people in Pennsylvania, to help them out to have their animals spayed and neutered, because I'm a veterinarian. So that thing I do for the people around here. And time to time I run rabies vaccinations in the community, and that the rabies, giving rabies vaccination to low cost. There is a law that you should have your animal rabies vaccination. Sometimes the people do not have money for the visit of the doctor, and on top of it, giving a rabies vaccination to the animals, they do not have that much money, and they got lots of bill to pay. So they try to cut on the animals, so they do not get the rabies vaccination. So I have periodically rabies vaccination in the community, so they can come and do the thing I do for the community. Another thing I do is similar things I do in the foreign countries. I go to do the charitable things in the foreign countries. The thing is, in the foreign countries, the veterinarians are not well trained. So I go to the university and teach them on horses, on cows, on poultry, on animal husbandry, laser surgery, pathology, and all those things. All the technology is given to be my colleague friends. They are American veterinarians, and very thankful to the Cornell University and in Ithaca, New York. They give me sometime equipment or certain drugs or something, you know, take it down to help those people out in developing countries. One thing is very rewarding is that hip dysplasia, that is a very expensive surgery, and if you have to do both sides of the hip dysplasia surgery, it costs about $8,000.
Oh my goodness.
And that surgery I do for the people in the developing countries at no cost to them, because these animals wait for me 3, 4, 6 months till I get there. They get lined up in there, and I start doing the hip replacement surgery and hip dysplasia surgery for them. And there are certain like grafts I do, like corneal grafts and other things. Like they do not have this technology, so when I go back there, I do that type of work. I will be sitting with the pheasants and like poor people one day in Pakistan. The next day I'll be sitting having a dinner with the president, or I will be having a dinner with the prime minister or something. So I have a multi-dimensional life.
You do.
And it is very rewarding. My current thing is that what I have done current in last month or so, I am I'm taking a fish technology for like the fish industry to Pakistan. That means like culturing the fish, breeding the fish, about forming the ponds and getting people to work for the fish, and fish food manufacturers and all those things. So I'm getting these things together. I'm very thankful to Senator John Yudicek, and he's been helping me, and Economic Development Department of Pennsylvania been very kind. We are working together to get that technology to the developing country like Pakistan. What is fish? Fish is a protein. Every 11th child before a year, he dies of the malnutrition. The time I came to this country in Pakistan, every 4th child died of a malnutrition, because they didn't have enough animal protein. And I came to this country I was working for the United Nations, and went to the University of Missouri and got the poultry technology and took to Pakistan poultry technology. Now they have easy access to poultry, the meat, eggs, and all those things. And now the death toll at that time was every 4th child was dying of malnutrition. We were pushed back to every 11th. But still, I'm working on the fish. Hopefully we'll have more fish. And the poultry technology that I introduced to Pakistan, 5 million people are employed directly or indirectly in that industry. And I'm hoping the same results
with the fish,
with the fish industry in Pakistan. And if somebody works in the fish industry and watching this show and they want to contact me, my number is 570-655-2412. You can contact us, because we want American technology. When the American technology goes to Pakistan, the American people are busy making things here, so there are more jobs. Another thing that I'm involved in buying a 7 5 Boeing planes for Pakistan.
Wow.
The 5 Boeing, they are millions and millions of dollars each. That means Pakistan is giving jobs to America, and American job security is good. So that type of things that I do with the United States and Pakistan, being a diplomat, being a citizen diplomat, I do these things, and it's very, very rewarding. What do I make from it? Just satisfaction, that's all. It's not that I'm getting a commission from Boeing or I'm getting commission from fish industry. Actually, I'm putting my money so that both country, like America and Pakistan, they get some help in that.
Right. And I've known Dr. Kathio for a very long time. He's always done so much good for so many people and our four-legged friends. And I'm so glad that you were on the show with us. And thank you for everything you do for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming down. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And once again, he's an amazing human being. If you wanted to call him, we have that number available, 570-655-2412. And is there a website too?
Yeah, Kathio.com.
Kathio, Kathio.com. And thanks, Dr. Kathio, for having us here at the Pittston Animal Hospital. And thank you as well to Lauren for joining us. This is Northeast Current on the ION Network. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.